we'll call the meeting of the Inland Wetlands Commission to order for January 22nd. Bruce, can you call the roll, please?
All right. Ned Stachin,
Here.
Richard Berlandi,
Here.
David Fox,
Here.
Robert Eisner,
Here.
Neil Kelsey,
Here.
Mark Simpson. Mark, you were there?
I see his picture. He's trying to talk.
Is he? Oh, he's got a brand new
My
computer.
microphone.
Here we
There you
go. Okay.
Hmm.
And then Andre Simons,
Present.
Jay Tulin,
I'm here.
and George Santos. All right, Commissioner, the only thing I realized, we have no applicant for Batterson Park. So I've got someone on the line here in the attendees. I'm trying to talk to them, but they're not responding back. So Craig, are you there? Where?
My list.
Oh, Jim. Let's see, anyone else? Think people are popping in late now?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Rob Newton.
Here we go. Rob's on. All right, let's give him a second. They're just calling in now. So
Okay.
Let's see if it is.
here we go. Jesse, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. All right, Chair. You got everybody here. I know that Craig is in the attendees, but he's not answering. So I'm not sure if he's going to be part of the presentation or if he's just standing by or not.
I'm just standing by. Jesse
Oh.
Jesse is on the call for Batterson.
Okay. All right. Just let me know if I need to promote you to the panelists for anything. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll ask the applicant to do a quick summary for people who are, just to refresh people's memories and
Yeah, I can do a quick summary. Again, my name is Jesse Harris with BSC Group, project manager and landscape architect on this project. Since our last meeting, we went through, project background, some of the other challenges we had. Ethan kind of presented the natural resources on the site. We went through some of the changes based on staff comments, and in particular, the site drive, site distance, and a few minor tree removals required along Batterson Road for that. Some adjustments to water quality, swales, and bioretention areas to meet to the best practical ability the water quality volumes for the site based on the Connecticut deep requirements. And we talked a little bit about some changes in the stream crossings for the multi-use trail connecting down to the south of the site. And I think that was about it. We talked a little bit about some of the precautions we'll have regarding the sewer pump station for this project. We did move that further to the west to get it, further away from the wetlands. There'll be an alarm system on there, for any high volume alarm. And there'll be check valves so that it doesn't back up into the building or in and out of the splash pad. So we have some safeguards there in place, as well as we've engineered it to have enough capacity to, hopefully avoid any issues out there with any overflow.
Okay. Um, Bruce, so I'll ask the commission if give them the opportunity to ask any additional questions, and then we'll ask if there's any more public comment.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. All right, to the members, we'll just go through one by one and ask if you have any additional questions on the applicant. Andre Simons,
I do not have any additional questions at this time.
okay, Rich Berlandy,
No additional questions. Thank you.
Dave Fox,
Actually, I have a question for Bruce. I was wondering, on the staff comments, the latest round, well, I guess it was the 20th of December. Have all of those been answered?
To the most part, I mean, like I said, they have addressed some of them. I think I said else time that these are pretty much all within. I would feel comfortable making them staff. That they can be addressed. With the approval of both staff. And the
Okay. I was
All right.
particularly interested in number 29 about the stormwater quality manual.
which is what I think we were talking about at the last meeting.
Right.
Let me see right here. 29, you said?
Yeah. That's kind of like all of the calculations that go into
Exactly. That was the one that we were talking about where the applicant gave us the feasibility of. They got a plan here. To get to the 100%, the only way they felt they can do it was to.
Right.
Create a bigger, larger pond in the area of the beach. So.
But other than that, you're satisfied on how
Yes,
they calculated all the other retention
exactly.
basins. Okay.
Yes, yes, sir.
All right. And I had one kind of minor question for the applicant. Along the trail, is there any plans to have like interpretive educational signs, maybe about wildlife that could be seen, birds, fish that are in the pond, maybe something about the wetlands?
Yeah, I think the intent will be to have some sort of interpretation signage. We don't have anything planned as of yet, but I think we
Oh,
want
yeah.
to see how the park functions and operates, and then we'll kind of deploy those pieces a little bit further down the road. But definitely, I think it makes sense to have some of that because what are we promoting here? Passive recreation in a natural setting. So
Right. That's good.
for it.
Thank you. That's all I have.
okay. Robert Eisner,
I have the same question as Dave as to whether all the staff comments have been addressed, and I heard that they largely have, and I'm comfortable with conditioning that any additional staff comments be addressed. Bruce, another question for you is thanks for sort of coalescing our thoughts into a draft resolution. Has the draft resolution for approval been shared with the applicant?
Yes, it has. Even the
Okay,
one I
and-
sent one, I'm not sure if anybody got the revised one I sent later this afternoon with a couple little changes from commissioners. So I kind of put that in there and I sent that to the applicant as well. And I have this and I have that available for the presentation as well, if you want to go through them. All right.
Well, thanks, Bruce. And then my question would be to the applicant if the applicant has any substantive concerns with any of the content in the draft approval resolution that staff has prepared.
Jesse?
I did not see anything that we would have any issue with.
All right.
Great, thank you. Those are all of my comments.
okay, I'm going to interrupt. Bruce, is it required that we read the resolution?
Yes, we should,
Okay,
So for the most part, I mean, we don't want to just for the record enter it in without really reading it. So
okay. All right, we'll
sorry.
go back to the questions. Neil Kelsey?
Yeah, and Bruce, I did see the updated resolution, so thanks for sending that out a couple hours ago. No question, just a comment on, and we've got the slide that is causing me some hesitation. I just keep coming back to I think ultimately we're going to regret not having swimming in the pond considered more in this application. I think that's going to come down the road. And we've got a lot of construction and a lot of, impact to the wetlands here. And ultimately, I think we may have to revisit this down the road. And I wish we had seen other alternatives, not just this basin, but on the whole design that would have done more to improve the water quality. So that's my only comment at this point.
Okay, thank you. Mark Simpson?
Mark?
I just sent you a message.
Oh, did you? Sorry,
No
Can-
questions.
can-
Oh, there you go.
no
Can
question.
you hear me?
I can hear
Yeah.
you now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no questions. The only thing I would say is after last week's presentation is I think this lake or pond is in the stages of degrading and getting to the point where it could turn into a kind of a ugly looking piece of area. So I'm glad it's going to be developed. I think it's going to be a benefit to the community. I think there was concerns last week, somebody about who shows up at this facility now, and they're a little concerned about what they see and what might happen in the future. I've lived in Farmington by a place where a lot of people frequent down by the river who were not part of the town. They're mostly out of towners. And I find that when we eventually had police who go down and enforce rules and regulations, we found that those people that came and abused the river did not show up anymore. And the people that did show up were the ones who respected the river. So I feel that this will happen here too. Having people manning the gate as it goes in, and obviously people authority being around there, I think this will become a more of a safer place for people to reside. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Jay Tulin?
I don't have any questions. I agree with all the positive comments the others have said. I think this is going to be a real benefit to the community. So that's it.
All right. George Santos?
Nope, he's not here.
No, he was not here today. Okay, I'm sorry. Along the lines of what Mark was saying, for my question, I just wanted to know, is the plan to have this gate closed in the evenings or when it's not operating to the applicant?
Yeah, at sundown, the park ranger will usher people out of the park and they will close the park down.
Okay, very good. I mean, there's still some concerns because obviously people can walk to it. I think it's going to be an asset to the area, and I think the project we approved a couple of years ago, where the built across the street at Badison Park Pond, and I think people who work in those office buildings on Badison Park Road and stuff I think they'll really appreciate having something nice place to walk at lunchtime and go after work. So I have high hopes for it. Okay, at this time, if there's no other questions from the commission, I will ask Bruce to see if there's any other public comment. And
Sure.
then if there's no other public comment, we can close the public hearing.
All right, Chair, if you don't mind me, can I just ask one question? If you
Absolutely.
don't mind? Jesse, are you able to respond to Commissioner Kelsey's concern about the water quality? I know, and I'm not sure how much of that report you have read or got into, but from what I've always thought, I thought the majority of the problem was from off-site coming up from that stream that runs behind the homes on 2 Mile Road, that it's not a site problem, it's more of an off-site problem. Is that the case?
Yeah, that's correct. It's, this stream channel that's kind of shown here on this plan view that
Mhm.
the driveway crosses over, that's
Leave it there.
draining, that whole intersection of 84, Route 4, Route 6, that's all coming down. And then also you have the housing
Mhm.
along 2 Mile Road itself. Um,
This over
that's
here, yeah.
it's a bunch of non-point sources that and basically what Deep had derived at the time with their report is that, it's a much bigger issue than what we can really address on our site. Involves public and private partnerships to help deal with that. There was some additional studies, that the city of Hartford had hired a consultant to look at that in greater detail about aeration and systems out there, and it's just we're talking a lot of money to do that, unfortunately. And it's not just this pond, it's all of Connecticut, right? As we become more urbanized, it's a lot of water quality issues in general. But yeah, it's the basis of that is offsite sources.
Commissioner Kelsey, does that help a little bit?
I read the report and I understood that.
Okay.
But thanks for having them, explain that a little bit further tonight.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure
yeah.
we're on the same page. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Bruce.
Yeah.
You brought up another, so is some of that water going into that system from I-84?
Yeah, if you look here, and what I'll do is I'll trace this up. So this is the inlet here's
Yep.
Batterson Park where we entered. So this swale comes all the way up through here along the back of the homes on 2 Mile Road, with the understanding all of this water gets there as well.
Yeah,
Comes
right.
up, banks over,
Oh,
comes
okay.
up through here, across here,
Oh, yeah.
runs up behind 2 Mile Road, and comes up to here. And then also some of this water from the highway gets all picked up as well. All right, so we have all of that. And then you've got everything, all of the development around with all of the lawn care products and all that stuff
Yeah.
that people have on their lawns, because most people have lawns right down to the edge of the river. So what are they putting on their lawns? And then you've got these large complexes, developments up here. So all of these stormwater flows down into Batterson, comes into here, as well
Yeah.
as flows to the back of this wetland. If you remember, this is where those apartments were
Yep.
were developed. That water comes into here. That picks up 84 as well. That flows back through here, all the way down around, takes a hook, comes down
Oh,
to,
yeah.
then crosses over and comes back into the pond. So there's a lot of development, a lot of improvements, a lot of lawn. So there's a lot of those areas around the pond. So it's trying, I guess, be more trying to rein in those as well. So it's not just as we said, I think it's more, it's not just something, definitely doing improvements on the park will help, and help address the new improvements in the park, but there is still a lot of development around there that needs to be addressed as well. So I think the problem, what they're doing, I think is a fraction of what the problem actually is. If that helps a little bit.
When
So
they,
Bruce,
okay,
I'm
I'm sorry,
sorry.
go ahead
Yeah,
now.
Bruce, I assume I wasn't on the commission when some of this other development went in, numbers 74, 80, 76. I know there's some new construction up there. I assume that came in before the commission, because there seems to be a lot of water up there. Was capturing that and cleaning that considered by the commission when those developments went in?
Yeah, what this is
Because you're right, that's where a lot of the problem comes
Yeah.
from.
This is the newest approval. So yes, that was all discussed. There's roof infiltration up there. There's water quality basins, detention basins, and items like that that address this. These two here are much older, so these just more or less come off into a grassed area, flow out into pipes out into Batterson. There is a detention basin out here that they're going to be cleaning out as part of this project here, but so there's a small detention basin here. Here again, not really that much. It just almost whatever I want to say it's a high point here. So some drains to the wetlands, some drains out to Batterson Park Road. So I'll be honest with you, I think some of these are much older, so they don't incur a lot of the modern day items or things that we address in current reviews. So if you can see, here's a copy, here's our GIS with the piping network. So this whole side of the project flows right out to Batterson Park Pond. This part flows through the detention basin and eventually out into the wetlands. Again,
That stuff directly goes into the pond.
Yeah.
Up from just above where the 76 is now.
yes.
That's not captured at all or filtered.
This you mean right here? You're saying, or
No, up closer to the number 76. Yeah,
I
that
see.
one there.
These all this parking lot drainage gets piped out right out into Batterson Park Pond. So we did work with them. There is a large low point in here. So we, if I'm not mistaken, this is a raised inlet. So I think there is a little bit of a detention in here where the water will come in and settle out anything that comes off the site. But other than that, whatever gets piped through the system gets piped right out into the river. Same thing here.
Bruce,
Yeah.
we, at the building you're at right now, that's the one where we approved installation of solar panels, and then didn't they include
Right here.
and then along with that work, they were going to include some improvements on the drainage basins too, right? Or was that a separate project, the
It
drainage?
may have been a separate project.
Yeah, maintenance of the
This was
drainage
mainly,
basins, right?
this was mainly the existing lawn area. So it was within that existing lawn. There was some work at this site within the last 10 years, I think. So they did some minor improvements in here. But like I said, a lot of these are built in the 70s and 80s when unfortunately water quality wasn't as much of a concern as water quantity. So there's maybe some detention basins and things like that. But other than that, there's really no water quality functions as part of it. So, and like I said, and I think, like I said, look at all these houses along the lake with lawns right out to the edge. So there's no question of, or there's no proof of whether what they're putting on their lawns is that stuff running into the water. Are they using best management practices on their lawn and what they do for lawn care? So it's a difficult situation because it is a large, very highly developed area with both commercial and residential uses. So
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for some of the history and looking at the other properties. I appreciate
Okay.
that.
Yep.
When just in general, like when DOT makes improvements, I mean, I know they have to, depending on what type of work it is, they have to get DEP approval on some of the work, right?
It depends. I mean, it
Yeah,
depends on the
depends
level
on
of the work.
extent. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it depends if they're being self-monitored or not, So
Because I know our consultants charge a lot of money for the environmental applications and when they do the project. So I mean, hopefully, as like as you say, a lot of this stuff 20 years ago wasn't getting addressed, but now the newer projects are all coming out with better storage, water storage and detention and better catch basins with catches on them. And so,
yeah, and this
I mean, we
and
can
this
hope that the water quality continues to improve. I forget, is there an algae growth issue with that pond in the late summer?
I think there was a note in that report about that. I don't know, Neil, if you remember or not. Anything about that? But this was, just so everyone knows, this is also, it's on the state's list of impaired waters area. So we have been doing our stormwater sampling in this area.
Oh, good.
We do stormwater sampling on a basis to try to locate the outlets, test the outlets, find out areas of concern, and then once you find those out, you then work your way back. So
Mhm.
if this is a problem, then we work our way back. If this is a problem, we work our way back to try to find it. So it's not being left behind. It's just something that we have as part of our MS4
Yeah,
permitting.
yeah, well, the
And
development
I,
took time. So the cleanups
Okay.
take time.
All right.
I
All right.
found my mute button. I don't recall the discussion of algae in that report. It may have been in there, but I just don't recall that. It
I
was
don't
more about
specific,
the runoff.
yeah, when, I go to the area occasionally and I don't recall any really bad algae, growth problems, but I'm not sure. And that's always variable a little bit, sometimes you have good years and bad years. All right, let's move it along. So, Bruce, can you call, see if there's anybody from the public that needs to
See what we
comment?
got. All right, if anyone on the public is on board and would like to speak, please raise your hand using the Zoom function. Oh, we got one here. Joseph Grisowicz. All right, Joseph, you should be on. You just have to unmute
Yes.
yourself. Just give us your address, please.
47 Belridge Road. I spoke at the last meeting.
Oh,
It's written.
yes, sir. Yep.
The question about algae growth, I agree. From year to year is different. There are times, like I said at the last meeting, I fish this lake at least once a week. It does get algae blooms at time, with the water being almost a light teal green, with green and aqua colored. I don't know how to describe it, like an algae bloom. The lake does, over the course of the summer, get more and more vegetation growing in it. And some of this is, I hate to say it, but from the waterfowl, the Canadian geese. At one point, there was 85 Canadian geese on this lake, that pretty much polluted it to the point where they left. um, but that it kind of addresses that. It does happen from time to time, but it does get very weedy along shore, and anywhere there is like a hump in the middle of the lake that gets up to about 4 feet deep, and that gets heavily weeded up down to about 7 or 8 feet as it tapers off from the mound. As I said in the last meeting, if you try to put a kayak or a canoe launching area, I think you're going to have a lot of problems with it, because that area gets the most sun. The sun hits it first thing in the morning and all day long, and that's where the vegetation will grow. Whether the vegetation is growing off of the algae that's in the water, I'm not a scientist. I just know that it gets heavier as the summer goes on, and it's further from shore as the summer goes on. I had some other questions, and it kind of, I feel like I need to ask these. I don't live in Farmington, but I feel like I need to say it. Is there any plan to widen 2 Mile Road?
Uh,
You could ask if you want to ask your questions, and then we could determine how we want to answer those. So just
Okay,
answer everything, ask the chair, and the chair will make a decision of whether,
yeah.
how he wants to do these. All right, sir?
Okay, the second question is, the new entrance to the park is, if I read it, saw right, is on Batterson Park Road. And it's just after, as you're coming down to 2 Mile Road, on somewhat of a blind corner, and the bridge there needs to be repaired. I was just wondering if there were any plans to repair that. And has anyone given any thought to the amount of traffic that this is going to bring into that area? I'm talking like Robin Road, Berkshire Drive, obviously 2 Mile Road, Batterson Park Road, the intersection of 2 Mile Road and Batterson Park, which is a 90-degree turn right now with 2 stop signs. That again is coming from New Britain toward 2 Mile Road on Batterson Park Road is a blind turn going into that stop sign. I just wondered if anyone had considered any of that and if any of that was in the budget. I guess that's pretty much
Okay,
my questions on it. Like I said, I don't live in Farmington, but I do go that way. A
well, it's
lot
okay.
of times, because what happens is Costco has become a problem on the other side of going around the lake to get around that way. It's a traffic jam consistently. So you end up going around the other way around the lake and down South Road to get to the other side of Costco and any of the businesses that are there.
Chair, I think I could answer most of these questions if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead.
All right, so the plan to widen 2 Mile Road, there is no plan as part of this development nor the town of Farmington at this time to widen 2 Mile Road. The bridge over there on 2 Mile on Batterson Park Road, he's discussing about wanting to repair it. I know there was some work done on it many years ago, I thought. I'm not aware of any damage or any immediate repairs for the future, but I can definitely talk with the Public Works Director on that, and the town will address it at an as need basis. And the traffic is a planning and zoning concern. They're addressing that as we speak in their meetings with regards to any kind of increase to the area. So that's being addressed through that.
Okay,
All right.
that answers my questions.
You did, and just to add to that, the new driveway location, they are taking in concerns, the sight distance coming around the corner, and they have plans to address the brush and cut back so that, as you say, there, if people come around the corner, you'll be able to see them from the driveway entrance and exit. Yeah, that right there.
That's what I was looking for.
So that should help keep that safe there.
Okay, and one last question. Is there a reason why the original parking lot, the grass that's grass right now, isn't being used in this development? Because that was the original parking lot back years and years and years ago when people were using the beach. It's gonna be a large area that could be paved and could be retention instead of being on site. And it would obviously open up to more different things in the park itself.
You're talking to the yeah, that area there.
Up in that area there. That's being called out as an overflow parking area. So
Oh, that's overflow?
yeah,
Yeah.
this will be overflow. This will be the main parking. This is where you'll come in. No, sorry, exit this way. you'll exit this way. So you'll come in, if the parking lot's full, I think you come in this way, come in here, park here, and then you leave that way. So if I'm wrong, Jesse, just jump in there, please.
Well, and I'll just add to that, the reason some of the parking is closer is that there's a lot of handicap requirements nowadays that weren't taken into account a long time ago. And so you have to have some parking that's closer to the facility, and it's better to have, one parking area than two parking areas. And I think having that set aside for overflow, I don't think there'll be a lot of use of need for an overflow parking, but occasionally you might have an event or something there and it could happen. So, but I think it would be kind of rare.
Have you, is there been any discussion about noise as far as parties and gatherings and things like that, about keeping it to a normal level?
Well, I think the operator, has experience with running facilities like this, and I think, with people there, we should be able to keep the noise under control.
Yeah, because I guess my concern isn't
Yeah.
the
exactly.
normal people chattering and the kids laughing and screaming and that kind of thing. My concern is more when they start with the music.
No, they had put together a plan. There's an operations plan, and TPZ, it was submitted with this application, and it's with TPZ as well.
You're right in the first paragraph there, it's saying
Yeah.
about no loud music, no
Exactly. Yep. And
Uh,
they have a long list.
audio systems or loud music, no generators, no portable
Exactly.
grills, bounce houses, blah, blah, blah. So,
Sounds good.
All right.
all right.
That answers that question for me. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very
You're
much.
welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else?
Oh, hold on. Give me, I just want to close this out here. Do we have one? Oh no, that I just left. Where is she? Give me a second, Linda. I'm getting there. Oh. Linda? Oh, I thought she had her hand raised.
Did.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Linda, did you still want to talk? One more chance. Oh, here we go. Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Okay, hang on.
Oh,
Now
there
can
you go. We got you. You're
Okay,
good.
great. Linda Bodker, 49 2 Mile Road in Farmington. Just a comment, I listened to this hearing, the last one that you had, and then I was also at the zoning hearing, the last one they had. And I just listening to talk about the quality of water with the deep research that was done, and even the gentleman that was speaking from the riverfront recapture. It's just a comment for me, but the feasibility of there ever being swimming at Batterson Pond is just, I would say it's never going to happen. So I would like there to be more, that basin for that 100%. I would like to see that more than it being put off to something that's subpar to that, based on the thought that maybe somewhere down the road there would be swimming, because I don't think that's ever going to be likely. And for now, that's the only comment I have.
Thank you.
Anybody else in the public wish to speak? Going once? Going twice? All right, Chair.
Okay. So, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved by Eisner.
Second, Mark.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Very good. Motion passes. So I don't know, I'll ask the board, have you reviewed the, draft approval and draft disapproval of, resolutions? I read through them. I thought they were well written. Bruce, do you have something in there about, working with the town on anything that's left, town staff?
Yes, it's addressing the town comments.
Okay.
So this is the one I sent this afternoon with a couple of changes that were added to it. All right.
Yeah.
So first one here is engineering comments dated December 20th, shall be addressed to the satisfaction of the town engineering division.
Okay. Um, I don't have that latest one. I didn't check my email this
Yeah,
afternoon.
no, it's fine. I sent it late in the afternoon because by the time I got them, put it all
Okay.
together, I knew that. So that's why I got it up on the screen. So if you want, we can go over them rather quickly.
All
They're not
right,
big. So there was a little change in terms of the amount of area to be affected, and that was approximately 4,200 square feet of wetlands from the installation of all the footings and the helicopiles or the proposed boardwalk system. All right, so that was one little change. We added that to it. Did a little bit of a change on the water quality that we were talking about just a little while ago about retention of the 100% of the water quality volume, and just stating that the proposed stormwater management system meets or exceeds the minimum required average annual pollutant load reductions for the stormwater that would be discharged to Patterson Park Road without further degradation of the site and the wetlands. That's pretty much verbatim out of the report, or out of the water quality manual. That is an option. All right.
Okay.
So they did show that, and added another, it's all been talked about, it's on the plans, but just a confirmation that the final location of the trail shall be reviewed in the field prior to construction with the design team, owner, contractor, and town of Farmington. So getting that done, okay. And I think that was it. Was that it? I think, yep, that was it. So those are the only
Okay.
changes from the last set I sent over to you.
All right. Um, should we have Dave read through it?
Yeah, I mean, the option, I guess, is everyone's had their chance to speak. What we could do is set the motion, right? If everyone feels we're ready to vote, read the motion, and then if there's any kind of deliberation on this, we can make that as part, or any questions on it, we can make it as part of the deliberation. Okay, prior to the vote.
Well, I'm not gonna poll the board, but just, consensus, are people feel they have enough information now to, act on this evening? I feel that we do. I know we got, at the last meeting, we got some information, late in this, late, just a little before the meeting, so I've had time to look at that. And, I think we've had time to review and, study the application, so I know I'm ready for it. And how do people feel in general?
I'm ready to vote favorably. I've got a couple of minor comments to make on the resolution before we approve it.
Okay. Um, all right, I guess I'll ask people. Andre, are you ready to vote this evening?
Yes, I think I am ready to vote.
Okay, Rich Berlandy.
Yes, I'm ready to vote.
Okay, Dave Fox,
I am too.
Neil Kelsey.
Yes, I'm ready to vote.
All right, Mark Simpson
I'm ready to vote.
and Jay Tulin.
I don't think I get to vote,
No,
but yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah, all
will.
right. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay, Ned. I would be happy
Yeah.
to, but I don't think I can.
No, I understand. My mistake.
No.
Okay, so then, let's start with a motion, to approve the draft approval resolution. And then, we'll get a motion and second to start it, and then we could talk about, things that we think need to be added or deleted from the, resolution. Can I get that motion, please?
So
I'm sorry,
moved.
and I'm sorry, I thought we had to read this first.
No.
Did I miss something?
Well, this is part of the motion. What do you think? What are you talking about?
Oh, no, he thought you had to read before you made a motion.
Yeah, well, I mean, oh yeah, no, you want to read this first,
You have
then
to make the
yeah,
motion,
make the
then you
motion
can have a
to read it.
discussion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So moved.
no, just somebody, somebody who wants to read a little bit tonight can make the motion and can start this by reading it.
Okay. I'll start.
You wanna
Well,
have-
wait, we
All
need a
right, you
second.
guys are,
Who's that?
Who made the second?
No, just if you want someone just like this is a normal motion. If someone just says, I make the following motion, whereas the Farmington Inlet and then just start reading it, and then someone will second the motion, and then we'll have a deliberation.
All right.
All right. So
Okay. Lee, I'll read it off the screen because I don't have the most recent one.
Okay.
I'll start and then I'll ask Dave to take over halfway through. All right. Whereas the Farmington Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Commission received an application to permit regulated activities into the wetlands and 150-foot upland review area, construction of a new entrance, emergency access, maintenance building and garage, park amenity building and restrooms, a future amenity annex building, lawn event area, lighting, playscape, splash pad, parking, picnic areas, grills, sidewalks, and multi-use trails, boardwalks, canoe, kayak, floating dock, and a viewing platform at 95 Batterson Park Road, as displayed on the plans entitled Improvements to Batterson Park, dated December 10th, 2024, prepared by the BSC Group, Geotechnical Engineering Report, dated November 2024, Wetland Delineation Report, dated September 27th, 2024, Wetlands Function and Values Report, dated November 15th, 2024, by the BSC Group, Drainage Report, dated September 24th, revised November 24th by the BSC Group, Batterson Park Operations Plan, Batterson Park Movable Area Plan dated October 17th, 2024, Inland Wetland Hearing Presentation dated October 16th, 24th, and January 8th, 2025, and all other technical reports and documents submitted by the applicant in support of the application submitted throughout the hearing, collectively referred to hereinafter as the application. And whereas the commission accepted the application at its October 16, 2024 meeting, conducted a site visit on October 27th, determined that the project was sufficiently significant to warrant a public hearing at the November 6, 2024 meeting, and scheduled a public hearing for December 4th, 2024, and the applicant subsequently requested a date of January 8th. And whereas the commission conducted a properly noticed public hearing on the application in accordance with state and local regulations on December 28th, 2024 and January 2nd, 2025, where all interested parties were heard and closed the hearing on the application at the January 22nd meeting, 2025, and whereas the commission evaluated the application and considered all technical reports, documents, testimony, and determined the project is not a significant activity that would have a significant impact on the wetlands and watercourses based on the definition of those terms in the Farmington Wetland Regulations. And whereas the commission evaluated the application in accordance with its regulations, specifically section 7 and 8 of the Farmington Regulation for Inland Wetlands. Now, there be resolved that the commission finds that the proposed activities described within the application and in particular displayed on the engineering drawings entitled Improvements to Batterson Park, dated December 10th, 2024, prepared by the BSC Group, and other technical reports, documents submitted throughout the hearing are in conformance with the requirements found in Section 6 of the Inland Wetland Regulations. And go ahead, Dave Fox.
And be it further resolved that the commission finds that although the proposed activities involve filling of approximately 600 square feet of degraded wetlands and direct impact to approximately 4,200 square feet of wetlands from installation of footings and helical piles for the proposed boardwalk, the mitigation and restoration of wetlands totaling approximately 12,400 square feet is an overall benefit to the property. Be it further resolved that the commission finds that the applicant has provided acceptable water quality treatment in accordance with the 2024 Connecticut Stormwater Quality Manual. And while they have not achieved retention of 100% of the water quality volume in accordance with Table 4-2 of the manual, the applicant has provided the maximum extent achievable under Chapter 4 of the manual. The proposed stormwater management system meets or exceeds the minimum required average annual pollutant load reductions for stormwater that would be discharged to Batterson Park Pond without further degradation of the site and wetlands. Therefore, be it finally resolved that the commission approves said application, including the proposed activities depicted therein, with the following conditions. Engineering comments dated December 20th, 2024 shall be addressed to the satisfaction of the Farmington Engineering Division. Final signed and stamped plans addressing all outstanding staff and commission comments and conditions, as well as commitments and any representations made by the applicants provided during the hearings, shall be submitted to the Farmington Planning Division prior to scheduling a pre-construction meeting. A pre-construction meeting shall take place with the town staff prior to initiating any construction activities. The applicant contractor will be responsible for providing a construction sequence plan. The term construction activities includes the removal of trees to access the site prior to full mobilization. Construction activity is not limited to earth disturbance. Prior to the removal of vegetation, the wetland boundary shall be clearly delineated and the clearing limits shall be staked. The line shall be reviewed with the town staff before removal can begin. No mass earthwork shall begin until perimeter erosion controls have been installed. The final location of the trail shall be reviewed in the field prior to construction with the design team, owner, contractor, and town of Farmington. All sediment and erosion control measures shall be implemented in accordance with the approved plans and as may be directed by the project engineer or the town staff. The applicant contractor shall notify the planning division once all erosion control measures are in place and prior to the start of any clearing or construction activity, or as directed by town staff, for town staff to review and inspect the installation of all measures. Erosion and sediment controls shall be monitored regularly by the project soil scientist, project engineer, or an individual with comparable education and experience, with weekly reports submitted to the town staff. Inspections shall include review of stormwater maintenance and operations throughout construction. Inspections shall be conducted weekly and after rain events of a ½ inch or greater. Reports shall include photographs of the general condition of the site and all erosion controls. Report shall include corrective measures needed to bring all erosion control measures into compliance. Applicant contractor is obligated to implement corrective measures. Stormwater detention basins are not to be utilized as temporary sedimentation basins. Separate temporary stormwater basins shall be designed in accordance with the 2024 Connecticut Deep Erosion and Sediment Guidelines. Provide a construction dewatering plan for review and approval by town staff prior to construction. Invasive species removal shall be by mechanical means. No chemicals shall be used. The applicant should be responsible for invasive species removal within work limits for the duration of construction or for a minimum of 3 years, whichever is longer. A wetland scientist shall annually inspect the stormwater basin, plantings, and general wetland quality for a period of 3 years following the date of the basin's completion. Following each inspection, the wetland scientist shall submit an annual report to the town, including the function of the stormwater basin and its plantings. All recommendations from the wetland scientist shall be implemented by the applicant as soon as possible. Provide an as-built of the stormwater detention basins to the town upon initial completion of the basins. A professional engineer shall inspect the stormwater system upon initial completion and at the end of the project to confirm that it has been installed in accordance with the approved plans. A letter shall be submitted at each time to the town. The as-built shall be revised and updated as part of the full roadway and improvement as-built to be submitted to the town for review and approval prior to the road acceptance. Provide a turf management plan and an integrated pest management plan.
Okay, so that's the motion that's been made. Do we have a second?
Second by Eisner.
Seconded.
Okay, one thing I caught is, do we need to say anything about that the Conservation Commission voted on this favorably
We could add that, yep.
on
So,
that date?
yep,
On
we
the
could add
on
that.
the
to the
last
agenda.
date?
Yep, I'll add that. I'll add that up. We could add that up in here.
Okay,
Whereas the Conservation Commission has approved or has recommended approval.
that's just, since we went to the trouble of voting, I just thought we should have it.
That's a good point, sir.
Okay, I know Robert Eisner said he had some comments. So Robert?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Chair. Bruce, can you scroll all the way up on the page one, the third whereas?
Right there.
Yep, the third where I think the date correction, I think it was December 18th, not December 28th.
Ooh, good catch. Missed that one. 12.
That was minor. And if we scroll down
You got that?
to page two, to the second, therefore,
Second page, you said?
yep, second page. And then number two under the
Oh, yeah.
therefores.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to insert a minimum time frame for the plans to be submitted to staff. I'm thinking 5 business days prior to scheduling a pre-construction meeting. I mean, these are obviously substantive plans, and I think the staff should have some time to receive the plans.
Yeah, 5 is tough for us, I think. I mean,
14,
yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, or how about we could do 14 or as recommended by staff? How's that? So if something
uh,
changes,
yes,
okay,
14 business days unless modified by staff prior to scheduling a pre-construction meeting.
okay.
And then scroll down a little further, please, to item 12. Well, now it's item 13 because I didn't have the revised one.
Okay, yep.
This is tough because sometimes with invasive species, there is time when a chemical solution is the best solution. So I'd like to modify this condition and say no chemical shall be used unless authorized in writing by town staff. Clearly, the intent is to use non-chemical means, but there are situations with invasive plants and species where the best option is in fact a chemical solution.
Okay. And there are with way people can spot treat it, so that shouldn't be a problem. All right.
And then I'd like to add 2 more conditions as we talked about earlier. One would be for the applicant to pursue interpretive educational signs for public benefit. And then the last condition would be to pursue continued efforts for water quality improvement.
Anything else?
That's it for me, and obviously those would be open to discussion with the rest of the commission. Thank you, Chair.
And I had one minor, I just noticed when they read it, I've only read this like 12 times, but there is no road acceptance in here. So this will just be submitted. This is with regards to the as-built shall be revised and updated as per the full roadway and improvement as-built to be submitted to town for review and approval. So there is no road acceptance. So I'll just cross off the road acceptance. All right.
Hey, I'm just on the sidewalk, the minutes, the date on the sidewalk minutes say October 27, 24. Is that wrong in there too?
No, I think that was correct. Site walk minutes, October 27th, you said, right? Oh, I got it right here. Site walk was October 27th of 2024.
Okay.
So. All right.
All right. Are there any other members of the commission that would like to comment on the resolution? Okay, seeing no further comments for the resolution for approval. The motion has been made and seconded with comments. All those in favor say aye. Aye,
Aye.
opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Good job. Good job to the applicant for all that information and working with the town staff, and good job for the town staff for, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, thank you for bearing with me on those, on that, on the resolution. I know it was long, but I think it's the best thing to do, so that way it's everything's clear. All right?
Thorough is good.
Okay.
Okay, the next item on the agenda, new business, 1500 Farmington Avenue.
We have the applicant, I think, is still here. Give me a minute to
Yeah.
close some of these things out. so I
Switch
can
over.
Switch over to the next application. Right, there's that. What's this? No, let me do this.
And Bruce, can you, when you finish the modifications to, the proposal for approval, for Patterson Park, can you send those out, the final version to the commission, please? Just,
Yeah, yep, I'll do that first thing in the morning.
okay,
So, and what we'll do is, you guys have time to respond, because what we'll do is we'll send them out. Sandy will include them as part of the minutes. The minutes will be draft, so you guys technically have to the next meeting to still review it and make and tweak any changes or anything like that.
okay, that's
before
fine.
the-
Yeah, that's fine, send them out with the minutes.
Perfect. All right. Right. Vanessa, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. How are you guys?
Good, here you go. All right, I got our GIS up on the screen. So it'd be great to start by giving your name, address, and just give us a little brief history of the property, where it's to, and what it took to get to this point. All right, and I'll follow through, adding up, popping up some of the photos and plans as needed. All right.
Thank you. So Vanessa Rodrigue, 1500 Farmington Avenue. I purchased this home back in November of 2022, and I conducted a inspection of the septic system during the buying process. And during the inspection, the distribution pipe was broken and the tank was not up to code. So we planned to replace the tank and just replace the distribution pipe into the existing fields for the time being. When the work started, which was done by Bear Construction, there were really no fields to connect to. It was just a Orangeburg pipe directly out of the tank of 5 feet into the ground. So there was no replacement of the tank as an option. We then conducted soil testing with Farmington Valley Health District and Joe Green, the professional engineer, and we collected data from my property. The soils they consisted of junk fill and then immediate deep wetlands soil that would not sustain a septic system. So the option was putting a septic system in. However, it would be considered a non-compliant repair, and I most likely wouldn't meet the permit to discharge due to the MLSS. I don't have that much spread on my backyard. So Joe Green offered to ask the neighbors at 11 Arwood if they would be interested in allowing me to put a pipe through the yard and connect to their city sewer. However, I knew that we would need to go through the town and obtain an easement. So we did a meeting with WPCA back in March. We got approval of that. I hired Pat Scully to do the easement work. All of that has been taken care of. And so we were ready to start the work, but we were notified by the town that we need a wetlands permit. There was a bit of miscommunication between my engineer and I believed that I didn't need one. And then after going through the emails, I saw that I wouldn't need one if the septic system was going to be proposed close to my property, but due to the swale that is on 11 Arwood, right in between our two property lines, I do need a wetlands permit. So that is why we're here today, to get a wetlands permit so that we can continue to do the work. It's been a 2-year-long project, and the connection to city sewer would be a lot more feasible for my property due to the wetland soil. And we are just trying to get this work done so that my fiance and I can utilize our home in the right ways. We've been very minimal with water usage. We don't do our laundry in our property. We don't run the dishwasher. We're very cautious with our showers. So we are just excited to get this done and be able to utilize our house in its fullest.
So I've got some pictures on the screen if you guys can see them. Here's the house with the pump force main system, and this is the force main starting to be installed. Here's the trench looking from back up. Here's the swale, the wetland swale that it's crossing. This is all existing lawn area here. Jump in anytime if I'm saying something wrong, Vanessa. So there's here again, there's the swale there, and going up through there to Arwood Road. Swale again, lots of invasive overgrown brush in there. Swale again. I think this, I got a couple of these, but you can see the ice with the water building up in there. So.
My contractor is on right now, and he's going to explain how he's going to be doing the work.
And it's pretty much, I think it's pretty much, I want to say it's almost manicured lawn up to both sides of it, other than this overgrown invasives here. So, and just to kind of give a little bit of, as I said in the agenda review, here's the town hall. So in the back, we do have a large wetland here that's been flagged up, all right, as part of our projects that we've been working on. So everything, this area drains out through this swale. And it pretty much mimics that, what the pictures you saw, exactly what happens to here. It goes out to a storm manhole, which is right here. So this swale, part of this swale pitches this way, part of the swale pitches this way, goes into an underground, I want to say it's a 24-inch pipe, and it runs straight out to the long side of the apartments, and then flows out to the Farmington River at that point. So the contractor's there, you said?
Yep, he's here, Stephen Fenn from Fenn Constructions.
Steven, maybe hopefully you can give the commission a little
Sure.
plan of how you intend to make this do the crossing of the wetlands. Are you there? Steven's on mute.
Steven's on mute.
You got me.
You got you. You're good. All right.
Sorry about that, guys. House full of kids. So, just to start off, we entered the project. We're a licensed septic installation company, as well as doing sewer work. And to get familiar with the project, we opened the tank to start. So we were just looking over the existing situation, and then the town approached us and said there was no permits. So just to be clear, there were all intentions of permits being pulled. We were just getting familiar with the job. So we just opened up the tank to look at the septic, and then we're going to approach the town. So there was there's a little bit of miscommunication there. Hopefully that we can accept the apologies on that. So from taking a look at it and speaking with Joe Green, it looks like he was never aware that there was an existing wetland or any maps stating that this was a wetland area. To me, it looks like a drainage swale simply for runoff from the neighboring properties. Very common for us in a repair situation to be next to streams, to be next to drainage swales. Obviously, you're looking to do the lesser of the two evils. So at this point, her system has failed. At any point, sewage can breach the ground and run directly into that swale and out to the river, just due to their limited use. Very diligent limited use is the only thing keeping us from that. So, in my opinion, this time of year, the ground is pretty frozen. That swale has a little ice cover that's not running water, very little, if any, running water. It would be a 1 day crossing, very quick, and then we could replace it to exactly how it looks. Obviously, when you hit the springtime, you have melt, you have running water, all of the above. So I think timing wise, it's pretty perfect. And again, from looping back with Joe Green, he did not mark it because there was no standing water in it when he did his design. And to my knowledge, still today, he does not believe that that is a flagged or wetland area. I could be mistaken on that, but that's where he stood. He had a town meeting. He was not able to be on the call tonight.
I think, I think that, I think Steve, I think the concern is it's not whether it's a wetland or not. I mean, I think that was the discussion I had with the engineer a couple of years ago. I said, I felt it was a wetland. If you felt it was otherwise, then they needed to get a report. I don't
Okay.
think that's the function of the meeting tonight. I think if we both agree that it's a wetland, I think the concern is how do you plan on making the crossing? That's what I'd like the commission to understand from you and
Sure.
on the
Sure.
construction side.
Yep. So the only thing I asked the WPCA was to work with us a little bit due to the length of our force main. So we have about 400 feet. So most of the time you would open the entire trench and you would have one inspection on the whole line. I simply stated to Matthew that if he could work with us, we could potentially approach the wetland area from both sides, lay our force main, backfill, and then do our crossing in one section. Now, exact details of that, I don't know if it's totally necessary for this, but the bottom line is we would cross with an 18-inch wide trench, 42 inches deep, minimal just to get frost, and we would backfill exactly the same way that you always would. Uh, Crushed stone, fabric, sand, tape, and tracer wire. I don't see there being a huge dewatering issue. We would probably put a pump, being that it pitches to that point, both sides, that's going to be your low point. We may just run a pump in the trench, dewater with some bales of hay to sift any silt and let it run down the existing swale. If heavier water was encountered, then we would probably put our pump ahead of us upstream, um, pump around our excavation area. But I don't plan to have this open for more than a few hours. Hope that answers roughly how we would attack it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yep.
Okay.
Vanessa, did you have anything else?
Anything else from the applicant?
No, I believe that's it.
Okay. So there's a significant elevation difference that you're going uphill on you. So, this has been designed, I see the pumps and, the spec sheets and things. These, is the town, actually, I'm sure that, does both the town and the, health department have to approve these plans, or is it just the health department?
I don't actually
I'm
believe
sorry, that's to Bruce.
They have, Farmington Valley Health has approved the connection to the sewer.
Okay,
They did that, and we had reviewed, our engineering division has reviewed the plans, and everyone's in agreement with with the um uh with the need to make the connection, and as well as how it's going to be made,
Yeah.
how the connection is going to be made. So I think I put in the agenda review, just I think some of these details just need to be worked out via both the commission and I think in the field on how they actually make that crossing with as little disturbance as possible.
Okay. Now this drainage swale or whatever we're calling it, you said it goes into a catch basin just a couple of yards down, and so it kind of slopes down from each end.
Yep.
It's very, very flat if I had to guess. I mean,
Okay, I see the blue line there. That blue
I
line
don't know.
is
I don't know if there's elevations, but it's not a few yards. It's probably 75 to 100 feet to where it discharges into
Yeah.
a drain.
About
okay.
80
Oh,
feet. Yeah, 80 feet away, right here.
so that's also taking all the runoff from Arwood Road.
Yes, it takes the stormwater runoff from Arwood, comes
Okay.
across, and this is just a catch basin that intercepts that pipe.
Okay.
Allows
And
this
the
to-
other side of that is running down to it too, from
Yeah, there's a
running
portion,
in
I
the other
don't have it,
direction.
yeah, I don't have exactly how far, but there's a portion
Yeah.
that drains this way, and then the rest of it, at some point, it then pitches all the way back and
Okay.
flows all the way back to Winwood.
Okay. All right. So
Nowood, sorry.
I just want to make clear that this drainage swale only goes, another 100 yards till it enters into a catch basin, right? That's safe to say.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
80 feet is all it is, so.
80 feet. Oh, not even 100 yards. All right. Okay. All right. And then there's wetland properties on that corner of the town hall.
Yeah, you can see here in the aerial imagery, there is
Yep.
a note, and we do have our site plan. Unfortunately, I didn't grab it, but they do have this flagged as a wetland area.
Okay.
Do we know if the parking lot drainage or any of that work going on from the school and all, does any of that discharge into there, or this is
No.
simply
Nope.
okay?
Town hall does, everything else from the high school comes
Okay.
through here and runs out to the river that way.
Okay. So it's just surface water that builds up in that low point.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'll poll the commission. I've asked questions I have. Let me see here. Start with Andre. Do you have any questions? The applicant or is her contractor?
I do not have any questions.
Okay. Rich Berlandi,
No questions.
Dave Fox,
No questions.
all right, Robert Eisner.
No questions, but a comment, and I'll just say to the applicant, Ms. Rodriguez, I think in the end, you're going to be better off with, even though you have to use an ejector system, connecting to the sewers because the way the soils are described, it's marginal at best for the septic system. So you obviously have a major project. I don't have any concerns from a wetlands perspective, but I think in the long run, the connection to the sewer is going to be a better option for you. End of my comments.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Neil Kelsey,
Yeah, I don't have any questions or comments.
Mark Simpson,
No questions.
Jay Tulin.
No questions.
Okay. All right, so there's nobody has questions at this time, so Chair will entertain a motion to accept the application.
So moved, Mark.
I'll second Dave.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to accept the application. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. And you can provide any additional information that you come up with. I mean, it seems pretty straightforward. I guess
Could I?
a little, but Bruce, do you have anything you want them to try and include for
No, I
the
think
next meeting?
hopefully I've got them to give you guys everything you guys need. So if you guys are good, I think I'm good at this point. I think it's more of us just gonna be a lot of making it happen in the field, and that's what I've been working with the engineering office on possible ways that we can just make sure this is done with the minimal disturbance as possible.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. I think town staff can do that. Well,
Albert
I,
has.
the
Oh.
invasives that they encounter when they're crossing, they are responsible for removing them or
Oh.
invasives. I saw there were a lot of invasives in the photos. Like, I'm just talking about in the region where they're crossing.
Yep.
Yeah, my plan was to just trim that, whatever bush you want to call it, to the right side of your screen,
Okay.
and then just enough to fit the machine and bucket. Very little disturbance there. Is it due to the project being underway? Is it we definitely have to wait at this point? Obviously, we're battling elements, and my question would be, is it just what are we gaining by that, or is that's non-negotiable?
Um, well, Bruce, you can answer it, but
State
I'll
statute.
just, yeah,
Just state statutes. They don't allow us to accept an application and vote at the same.
Okay.
yeah.
Understood. Yeah. Understood.
Commissioner, yeah.
What
Commissioner
would-
Reiser has his hand raised as well, so if you want to.
Okay, Robert.
Thanks, Chair. I would say, Mr. Fenn, if you could just make sure that you provide Bruce Town staff with just a cross section on how you plan to do um, the the ravine crossing. It doesn't have to be by an engineer, but I think it would just be helpful to have,
Sure.
just the details you described, and then just what you're going to do, normal soil and erosion control stabilization afterwards, because obviously you're going to do the excavation.
Sure.
January, February, you're not going to be able to get any grass to grow until
Sure.
the spring. So nothing overly elaborate, but as long as Bruce knows what you're going to do, then we'll be set to do the approval at our next meeting. And as discussed, it is, state
Sure.
statute preclude
Sure,
us
we can
from
do
doing the
that.
approval tonight.
Mhm.
Bruce, I think you could probably advise him, though, there could be some work that's done in advance of next week, right? It's just a crossing that we have to regulate. The other work could be done, correct?
Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, technically anything within 150 feet needs to be approved. So, I mean, that's up to if you guys
So
want.
the only thing that I would do would be to trench 20 feet short of the curb on Arwood down to 20 feet or so short of that swale. So it's not gonna, we wouldn't gain a huge amount by digging that and then waiting in 2 weeks or whatever, a week. That wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. We probably would just wait. At this point, we're on her property only. We don't want to disturb the neighbor's
Yeah.
property and then leave it untouched for any length of time. It's okay. It's just, with the weather and everything, it's not ideal, but we'll make it work and I'll get you the cross section. Appreciate everyone's time.
Thank you.
Yeah, work
End of
with
my
town
comments.
staff, and they'll give you, as much leeway as we can
Sure.
legally.
Sure. Understood.
Okay,
We have to determine significance, correct? And
yes.
whether or not we want a site walk.
Yes, thank you for that reminder. I don't take this to be a significant project. But let's hear from the panel, and if Andre, do you think this is significant?
Not at all. I do not think this is significant.
Okay, Rich Berlandi,
No, I don't.
significance?
I don't think it's significant. Nor would I need to site
Oh
walk.
yeah, that's true. Let's do both. Andre, sidewalk?
No need for a sidewalk as well.
Okay. Rich got both. Dave Fox, significance and a sidewalk?
Not significant and no walk.
Okay, Robert Eisner?
Non-significant regulated activity and no need for a site walk.
Okay, Neil Kelsey?
I follow the consensus. I agree.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I agree with
Okay.
what's been said so far.
Okay, I got a crazy dog going here. Down. Um, Where did I leave off? Mark Simpson. Sorry.
No sidewalk and non-significant.
Okay. Jay Tulin.
Same, non-significant, no walk needed.
All
Thank
right,
you.
so now that we know how everybody's voting, we'll entertain a motion that this is not a significant activity.
So moved.
Okay, and a second, please.
Second, Mark.
Okay, motion been made and seconded that this is not a significant activity. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, motion passes. And do we need a motion on the sidewalk or we just say we have consensus on that?
Just consensus is fine.
Consensus.
Yeah, I think so too.
No sidewalk.
Okay, so we had pulled the commission and there's no need for a site walk. So I think we've got everything then on this. Did we do the vote? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'm sorry. My dog got me off track here. Okay, so then we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all of your time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anything in a planner's report, Bruce?
No planners report today. You guys will be happy for that one.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of January 8th of the Inland Wetlands Commission.
So move, Mark.
And a second, please.
Dave will second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes of January 8th. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Was I the only one that said aye?
No, I can hear you.
everybody
No one else
did.
jumped
Okay.
in.
I,
Maybe I'm just loud. All right, opposed? Abstain, motion passes. Any other comments from the commission? Okay, we will call the Inland Wetlands Commission to a close, adjourn at 8:27 and start the Inland Wetlands Commission. The Conservation Commission. A tough night.
You're fine. All right.
Is there there's nothing, right? On the
Nope.
no new business, no planners report.
Exactly.
Okay, then the chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of January 8th.
So moved.
And a second, please.
Dave will second.
All right, motion made and seconded to approve the minutes of January 8th. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. All right. Thank you for your time and efforts, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. The meeting is adjourned.